in today's session of Divorce Court. Sissy Sweeney says her husband Ronnie can't control his sexual appetite.
Well, I'm not a priest. A priest can go without it. I can't go without it.
What is your problem, sir?
And when she caught him cheating with her best friend, it was over.
He was having sex with your best friend because you didn't have sex with him when you were pregnant?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't like the girl from the start.
Oh, so you okay? Hello.
I mean, she didn't have no clothes on. And what in the world, you know, what am I supposed to do when there's a woman right there fixing to jump in my bed?
Mr. Doorknob, everybody gets a turn, don't they?
I mean, I done something stupid, you know, I understand
One
that.
thing?
But
what else did he do?
Oh,
I married her.
Now Sissy Sweeney comes face to face with Ronnie Sweeney in today's session of Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Ronnie Sweeney versus Sissy Sweeney. Mrs. Sweeney, I'm advised that you want a divorce after 6 years of marriage, no, 2.5 years of marriage.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Why? What's the problem?
Because that man over there had the right to cheat on me with my best friend, not to mention did he get her pregnant while in the meanwhile, I was about 7.5 months pregnant. And all of this did not come about until my baby was about 2 months old. And then when I confronted him...
Wait. Slow down. All of this did not come about till your baby was about 2.5 months old. It was making sense until you said that. Now, I think I heard...
I did not know about it.
Oh, you didn't know about it?
I did not even know it until my baby was about 2 months old.
So you're married to him, you're pregnant, the best friend is pregnant, and then you find out when your baby is 2 months old. Your best friend.
Yes, ma'am, my best friend. Supposed to be anyway.
And how did you find out about it?
Because his sister-in-law, or my sister-in-law told me.
Your husband's sister told you?
Yes, ma'am.
After your baby was born?
Yes,
ma'am.
introduced
What did she say?
She told me, she said, I can't keep it from you anymore. She said, I know it's my brother. She's like, but you have the right to know. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then she went on to tell me that, hey, he's sleeping with your best friend.
Well, if you'd have sex with me, then I wouldn't have to go and sleep with your best friend.
The doctor tells me.
It sounds like she had sex with you. Didn't she have your baby?
Yeah, but that's...
So how did she have a baby if she wasn't having sex with you?
That was one time.
Well, that
That was one time.
The doctor flat out told me, do not have sex, because I was in high risk, and you knew that, but it didn't matter. Just nag. That's all that didn't matter to you.
Sweetie, what are you saying to me? Are you saying that he was having sex with your best friend because you didn't have sex with him when you were pregnant?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
The reason of that is because of the simple fact that I was in a high-risk pregnancy.
Reason. What is your problem, sir?
Well, the problem is she made this excuse that her doctor said that she couldn't have sex for a full time that she was pregnant. Could you hold on?
No.
Hold on a minute. I'm talking to her.
Both of you will hold on and you will address your comments to me.
I'm sorry.
Not to each other. Now, what you said she made an excuse that the doctor said she couldn't have sex.
Yes, ma'am. She called me at work and she said, don't be mad, but I'm pregnant. I said, well, I'm not mad. I was happy. But yet she told me that the doctor said that she couldn't have sex for the full time that she was pregnant.
That's what she told me.
I did not.
You know, that's ridiculous because...
Why is it so ridiculous, Mr. Sweeney?
Because, I mean, I can understand not having sex, at the last of her pregnancy. But this is at the first of her pregnancy.
And why you couldn't understand that?
He said you can have sex, but you can't have sex during the last 3 or 4 months of your pregnancy because you can lose the baby.
Hold on, Miss Sweeney. So you're saying the doctor gave you one set of information that she cannot have it during the last trimester, but Miss Sweeney said he told her she couldn't have it at all because she was high risk.
Well, I was right there when he told her what he told her.
How were you
I was in the office.
Well, that's strange to me that you were right there when he told her.
You sure you wasn't
when
home
you
with
just
Michelle?
said to me that she called you.
No, ma'am. I said that.
You better let me finish my sentence.
I'm sorry, y'all.
You told me that she called you and told you she was pregnant.
Yeah.
So that means that when she found out that she was pregnant, you weren't there.
That's right.
You were at work.
That's right.
So perhaps that's when the doctor told her that, when he also told her she was pregnant.
Well, she didn't go to the doctor when she found out she was pregnant. She found out on a pregnancy test Then she went to the
pregnancy test?
Yes, ma'am.
And you went to the doctor together?
We went to the doctor when she found out something about her couldn't have sex, but he said for the last 3 or 4 months.
So why did he hear last trimester, and why did you hear the entire time?
That's what the doctor said was the last trimester. He's just making all the rest of it up in his head.
Wait a minute now, Miss Sweeney. Maybe you didn't hear what you said.
Yeah.
Because now you just said that's what the doctor said the last trimester. When this conversation began. Yeah. You told me the doctor said you couldn't have sex at all during your pregnancy.
No, I said he said that I could not have sex. And I've been for the last trimester, and then he got to saying the whole
Miss Sweeney,
term.
I can't have sex during my pregnancy, and I can't have sex last trimester is not the same thing.
Well,
and that's not what you said to me.
I didn't know he was going to come out with all this lies saying that I couldn't have sex all the time I was pregnant.
You was the one who said that.
No, I was.
Let's leave that subject alone because you're real confused. Now, so you think that because she couldn't have sex while she was pregnant, that didn't make good sense to you and you had to go out with her best friend? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I didn't go out looking for her best friend. She introduced her to me.
So she introduced you? Oh, so
hello. Put up the sign.
She brought her over to you and said, meet my best friend, and while I can't have sex with you, I'm going to let her take my place. Is that what you're telling me?
No, ma'am. I didn't like the girl from the start, okay? She brought her over to my house, okay? Which nothing was going on then.
She's my friend.
She just brought her friend over like people tend to do.
That's what I'm saying. Put a dog.
Her friend come over. Her friend kept coming over. And, I mean, one night, I just got off work, 1:30 in the morning. I drove a truck, okay? So her friend come over, okay? When she come in, I told her, I said, well, Sissy's not here. She said, well, okay, that's fine. I said, but you can come in and watch a movie if you want to, or you can wait on her, or what? I said, it's up to you. Then I said, well, I'm tired. I said, I got to go to work in the morning. At 11:30, 11:30 towards the afternoon. She said, okay. I said, well, stay and watch TV if you want to, or you can leave, or, just whatever. I said, you can sleep on the couch.
Oh, you can do what? You can lay just whatever. You just brushed over that part. She can watch TV or she can lay where?
She can lay down on the couch, because, I didn't think that she was going to come in.
Or in your room?
No, I didn't tell her to.
Oh.
She come in there, and, she said, Ronnie. I looked at her and said, what? And when I opened my eyes to look at her, she didn't have no clothes on. And what in the world, what am I supposed to do when there's a woman right there fixing to jump in my bed and me not have sex for, 7 to 8 months?
So I guess that makes sense twice?
Now, wait a minute.
No, you hold on. You told me that you slept with her at her house.
Hold on.
Mrs. Sweeney. You slept with her in my bed.
I slept with her both places.
Ooh.
Well, Mr.
Drop that bomb. He slept with her both places.
Mr. Doorknob, everybody gets a turn, don't they?
Mrs. Sweeney, direct your comments to me, please.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
So you're telling me, you asked me a question. What am I supposed to do? When there's a woman in my house, walks into my bedroom, I open my eyes and she's standing in front of me butt naked. What am I supposed to do?
That's right.
A 2-year-old could answer that question.
Well, like I said,
you know exactly what you were supposed to do, and you're a married man.
That's right.
That is no mistake. You did that because you wanted to. Mistakes is things that happen when you don't intend, you don't want it to happen. You did just what you wanted to do. That is not a mistake.
Well, I've done that on my own, but, I hadn't had sex in 6 or 7 months, and there the naked woman is.
And you know what? You're not the only man that haven't had sex in 6 or 7 months when his wife is pregnant.
When divorce court returns, Ronnie testifies about what he calls the biggest mistake of his life.
I've done something stupid, I understand that.
One thing stupid.
What else did he do?
I married her.
Are you involved in a dispute with a neighbor, friend, relative, or business person? Take your case to a new court show and be represented by a prominent attorney. Call 877-777-0099. Divorce court returns as Ronnie Sweeney testifies about his infidelity during his wife's pregnancy.
Well, I'm not a priest. So,
you don't have to be a priest.
I'm not a priest. A priest can go without it. I can't go without it.
You can go without sex, Mr. Sweeney.
No, ma'am, I can't.
Oh, please.
I'm telling you, I can't.
You can go without sex if you want to. You can control. What you're saying is I have no control over my body.
I've got control over it.
Well, no, but I can't go without sex says I have no control over my body. Because you can go without if you control it. It's the mind that controls. All you have to tell yourself is I'm a married man. That's what you were supposed to do.
I know that.
You did exactly what you wanted to do.
That's what I should have done, but I didn't.
Why didn't you?
And so now
Like I
what
just
happened
said.
as a result of that? Did you still friends with this woman?
No, ma'am. She
So
left
what
the
happened
state.
as a result of that?
She left the state. When I found out, I called her, confronted her about it, and she's like, no, this, that, and other. She admitted to it. He admitted to it, but they both told me that it happened at her house, and this and that.
So
and
is this
other.
the first that you heard that it happened in your bed?
Yes, this is the first I've heard of this.
No, ma'am. I told her that.
He's lying.
She come to my work, okay, at 12:30 in the morning. She come to my work. I said, well, we'll talk about it later on. She said, no, we'll talk about it now. I said, just hold on, I'm working. Wait till I get off. Well, when I got off, she asked me, and I told her, yeah. You know, and she started crying and, you know, all that, so.
And what should she have done?
Honestly, she should have left me then. But that's
she
not
shouldn't
my
have
fault
cried,
she
right?
didn't leave me.
And it's not your fault she didn't leave.
That's right. I didn't tell her to stay.
Oh, sit there and lie
I think you
again.
did tell her to
begged
stay
me.
when you took that marriage vow.
That's right, but I didn't
You
tell her to
told her
stay
to
after
stay
I
then.
slept with a friend.
Yes.
So why didn't you leave, Mr. Sweeney?
Because I didn't have to leave.
Oh, why you didn't have
I
to
was
leave?
paying the bills.
Do you really believe just because you pay the bills, you don't have to leave?
That's right. I mean, I done something stupid, you know, I understand
One
that.
thing.
But,
One thing
you know,
stupid.
What else did he do?
Oh,
I married her.
No.
Oh.
No, that was my mistake.
All right, what you want me to give you?
I want you to give me $1,000 because we're living with his mom and daddy, and all I want is a place of mine for me and my son to have. I've done some research.
This is the child that you had while he
him.
was going with the best friend?
That's why I'm still with him, because I tried to make a family. I love him. I wanted to make a family for my son, but I cannot put up with it. He argues with me
So
every
now you're
day.
living with his mother?
Huh?
Did you say you're living with his mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
he will not get out
Are you
work,
living with
keep
your mother
a
too?
job,
Yes, ma'am.
and pay the bills.
Wait a minute.
I've
this
got
not the
2
man.
jobs.
Wait, you
This
got-
is what,
Hold
for
on,
the first
Mrs.
time
Sweeney.
since we've been together.
You're living with your mother, the man that's standing up here talking to me about I didn't have to leave because I pay the bills? You living with your mother?
My mother and father. Be exact. But
So why aren't you living in your own place paying the bills?
we was. And
I was
it's,
paying the
hold on.
bills.
Let
No,
him
hold
answer my
on.
question.
I was paying the bills when she was pregnant.
Oh.
I was.
And after she had the baby, you stopped paying the bills.
No, ma'am.
So
After
why
I
are you
went
living
back
with your
to
mother and
work.
father?
I cannot live with her mother. Her family don't like me. We don't get along none. So, I mean, my
So why
family.
couldn't you just go find your own place? That's what people do when they pay the bills.
I know, but it's a
Because
little
he's
hard.
got to
Hold
have
on.
his paychecks when he does work. He's got to have his, excuse me.
You need some water?
No. He has to have his paycheck to blow on tattoos or just BS. It's always me. When I get my paycheck, I have no money left. I have to pay my car note. I had to pay the bills when we had a place of our own.
But when
I had to buy
get money,
diapers,
you
and I had to buy
want your
milk.
things when you want them.
So
I
wait a
don't
minute.
get
So wait a
nothing.
minute, Mr. Sweeney. You telling me that you work, right?
Me, yes, ma'am. I got 2
And
jobs.
you work too, Miss Sweeney.
Yes, ma'am.
But you have to go move with your parents when you get evicted because you couldn't find your own place.
Not at the time we couldn't find a place.
Or you didn't want to pay for one.
He didn't want to pay for one.
No, we couldn't find none.
He did not want to
You
pay.
mean in that
And-
whole city there was not one place that they would rent to you?
You've got 2 choices, okay? You can either pay, $15 to $16, maybe $2,000 a month,
Or
you can, live where you can live. And I'm not,
or
I
live
love
where
my
you can
son.
live. What does that mean?
You can live with your parents, or you can live on the street. And I'm not, I'm not living on the street. I didn't want her to live on the street.
Why
or
couldn't
my
you go
son.
somewhere else where you could live within your means?
It's sort of hard to do, when like I said, everything is up to, up in the thousands of dollars a month.
Ma'am, I've been done some research. I've got 2 places on here.
Let me see.
For $500
In your town?
in my town.
Be the first for me.
Be the first for you?
No,
That's
ma'am.
right.
You didn't know they had any place in your town for $500 a month?
It'd be surprising
It's a
if it is.
2-bedroom.
Be surprising? What?
You ought to give me $1,000 for putting up with them.
Shoot. Me? We know which way that goes.
Don't respond to that, please. Well, she circled 2 places here. 2-bedroom on the lake. $500.
It's the first I've heard of that.
First you heard of that,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
you ever look?
There was 3 or 4 different occasions.
Did you ever look?
Yes, ma'am.
So you never saw any place that you could rent and you could pay the rent based upon your salary and your wife's salary. The only thing you could do was go live with your parents.
That's time, yeah.
Oh.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict. And an update on the case of Pasha Brody versus Kenneth McCreary.
We basically came together, I think, for a need.
I told her from the start of the relationship, we have to do this together as a team. This is the 90s.
Divorce Court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce Court is back in the case of Sissy Sweeney, who says she's divorcing Ronnie because while she was pregnant, he was having sex with her best friend.
So now tell me something. The marriage is over, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have a son.
Yes, ma'am.
Your wife and son, your wife would like to move out of your parents' house. You don't mind paying rent, do you?
No, ma'am.
Now, what about you?
I don't mind paying rent.
So don't you think it's best for them to have their own place?
Yes, ma'am.
Since you've been living with your parents and you haven't had to pay rent.
Yeah, she hasn't done anything over there.
That's what I'm saying. Hold on. I'm sure you should have some money saved because you didn't have to pay rent.
Like I said, he blows all his money.
What about yours?
I have a car note I have to pay every month, and I'm behind on it because he
So
said
if you go get your own place and you didn't have to pay rent, how are you going to do it?
That's why she wants me to pay for it.
Because what?
I've called all my bills up, and now I have the money each week to pay my own bills and my own rent and support
so
me
now
and my
you'd
child.
be if he helps you get the place at the beginning,
yeah,
you'll be able to pay from then on?
Yes, ma'am.
$500.
Yes, ma'am.
What she's wanting me to do is pay for that car she's got that
No, I don't.
know that someone hit.
No, we're not talking about a car. That's not what her request is.
That's all she wants me to do
Well,
is
but
pay
you
for her
know, if
car.
she moves to a place, it has to be rent.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm not punishing you at all because you chose to go live with your parents, because you didn't know that you could find a place at a sum of money that you could afford. But $500 is something that the two of you could have afforded together, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you can afford it now. You're going to continue to live with your parents?
No, ma'am.
So now you're going to find you one of these two-bedroom places for $500, huh?
I've got a place I can go.
Where you going?
That's no big deal.
Oh, you have a place.
Yes, ma'am. I've talked to her about that too, but you know she don't want to do that.
She doesn't want to be with you anymore. The marriage is over. Then we're just talking about providing for this child to have a place to live. And I don't think that is too much to ask of you to contribute the first. I'm not going to ask you to do both the first and the last, which you requested, because you work too.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's not just for your son, but you're going to benefit by this as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to order child support in the amount of $300 a month after you pay the first $500 to allow her to move, her and your son to move. So the $300 per month will start the 15th of next month, and the $500, in order to allow her to move, you have to pay it. You can pay it directly to the landlord. Pay that $500 directly to the landlord. When she comes and provides you with the rental agreement indicating how much the deposit is, and you pay at least $500 when she verifies that she's found a place and signed a rental agreement. Do you understand that, Ms. Sweeney?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
not giving this to you for additional money. It's to allow you to move. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Let's adjourn.
All rise. Parties may leave the courtroom.
When Divorce Court returns, an update on the case of Pasha Brody versus Kenneth McCreary.
She used that money to move to Dallas with someone she met over the internet.
Really, it's just like meeting anybody on the street. Do you ever really know somebody?
What?
Closed captioning for Divorce Court provided by. Are you involved in a dispute with a neighbor, friend, relative, or business person? To appear before a real judge on a new court show, call 877-777-0099. And now for an update on a previous case in Divorce Court. Pasha Brody said when she married Kenneth, it was for the wrong reason.
We basically came together, I think, for a need.
I told her from the start of the relationship, we have to do this together as a team. This is the 90s.
And he said she took his money and went to be with another man.
She used that money to move to Dallas with someone she met over the internet. Now, she met this.
No, she didn't.
Really, it's just like meeting anybody on the street. Do you ever really know somebody?
What?
Pasha wanted Kenneth to pay $85 a week for childcare. After hearing that the child was receiving excellent care from Kenneth's grandmother, the judge denied her request. Kenneth recently gained full custody of their daughter, but hopes Pasha will get her life in order so that they can both share custody. Pasha visits with her daughter at least once a week and recently took her daughter to a carnival and a movie. She also has a new job at an internet company and is looking for a man that would be good for her and her daughter.
She got what she wanted, but she's not going to use the money for what she should.
He's not a man at all. He cannot treat no one with respect.
We're not going to, socialize or nothing like that. I don't want to be around her.
I think it's great that the judge gave me some child support, because then that way he can actually help me provide for our son, which that's going to be a new thing for me because I'm used to having to do it by myself.